Final Fantasy 15 was released in November 29th of 2016, published by Square Enix for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I'm a little late to the party as far as Final Fantasy 15, but that might not necessarily be a bad thing because I played the Royal Edition, and from what I understand, there was a little bit of backlash for this game because it was quote unquote incomplete, and now with the Royal Edition, it's uh, a full version of the game. So I can't really comment on how the game was back in 2016. But interestingly enough, Final Fantasy 15 has a tie to my initial interest in the series. Back before the game came out, Conan O'Brien did a segment on Clueless Gamer that's hysterical about Final Fantasy 15, and the only thing I knew about the Final Fantasy series was Seven's cover, which I thought was cool, but I had only played the demo, and I'd kind of lost interest at the time. But this was a game that had been on my radar, and my brother's girlfriend got me this game for Christmas, so I finally had gotten to dive in, and all I can say is I love this game. I really do. I think that the strength in the game is the four core characters: Noctis, Gladiolus, Ignis, and Prompto. I think if I think that their chemistry, as far as being brothers, not by blood, but by through friendship, really carries the game. Like they're really endearing, and you want to see them succeed in helping Noctis become the king he's meant to be. And as far as like gameplay and combat goes, gameplay it's very open world for the first half of the game, and you can kind of go do side quests and help the citizens of Noxus's kingdom, and you can kind of do whatever you want for a good while. And I would recommend taking up some of those side quests. Some of them kind of are pretty bare bones, but there's a couple of them that are very entertaining, and you get some good items, and you get to upgrade your characters, which is worthwhile, especially to prepare yourself for the end boss. But I don't think that the game is that hard until the ending segment. Uh, Basically, it's very different from the traditional Final Fantasies, is what fans would call it. There's no turn based or active time based uh, mechanics. There are still like commands to be entered. You can have your characters make special moves, but for the most part, you're just playing as Noctis, and they're uh, that you could argue that you could get through this game through some button mashing, but there is some parrying and dodging mechanics that are very important if you don't want to take a lot of damage. And I think especially once you get to the final section, that it's very important to get that down. But it's way more forgiving than something like Elden Ring or Dark Souls. But of course, the spells and potion mechanics from previous Final Fantasies make their appearance. However, I think the spells is the weakest part of the gameplay. I didn't find the spell grenades to be all that interesting to me. So I hope if they're going to stick with this type of gameplay or something like it, that they flesh that out a little bit more. I think this game has some of the best summons. They're truly epic, and they're not overused in the game. I think in previous Final Fantasies they could kind of overstay their welcome, and you get kind of numb to it. But I maybe use a summon probably 4 or 5 times in this game, whereas like when I played 7 or 8, I probably used used summons probably good 50 or 60 times. But I think another really strong point of the game is the music. The music, it might be my favorite music in the series. Uh, it's really darn good. And to me, I think another thing I really liked about this game is that there's a food mechanic, which is a lot of fun. And of course, Ignis's really epic lines, I've come up with a new recipe, is satisfying to hear each and every time. And the food will add different boosts, so there might be some food that will give you more health, give you more attack power, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think overall the game is excellent. I think that if you were hesitant about the game initially, or if you were disappointed, or if you were disappointed that Versus 13 didn't happen and you just decided to skip 15 outright, I think now is the best time to play it. I think with the Royal Edition, I think there's it's a really solid game, and it's something I'm looking forward to coming back to and playing with New Game Plus. And then this is one of the few Final Fantasies I've played where after you finish the main game, you can kind of go back and do all the side quests. So I'm going to be doing the Adamantoise fight and try to get the flying car and all that good stuff. And the car is a whole other thing that I didn't even think to mention, but the car, you eventually can make it into a monster truck, and then the flying car. And then what's cool is you can collect other Final Fantasy soundtracks to listen to while the car drives around. It's sort of a nice gameplay break, and then it gives the boys some bonding time. So I played this on Xbox Series X. Comment below, let me know what system you played it on or are going to play on it. If you decide to give it a shot, comment below, let me know. And thanks for checking out my review of Final Fantasy 15.